What's up, Brigade? Welcome into a BetCris Arizona Thursday for the Bostonian versus the book. My name is Matt Peralt. We are live on our YouTube and X, same handle on both, at Boston versus the book. Replayed on Sports Grid Television, 10 p.m. Pacific time each and every weeknight, and always available wherever you guys get your audio podcast. Today on the program, where in the world will he be? The one and only Adam Bjorn will join us to break down all the games in Week 15 from a betting perspective in the NFL. We do have an Army-Navy game to get into for on Saturday. We'll talk about that a little bit with Adam, and also the amazing work he is doing for the folks in Jamaica. He put out an amazing video that you've not seen it yet. It's on at Boston versus the book on Twitter X. What he's doing, the palette he has put together for people. It's just a small dent, but it's more than most people are doing for a island that has been ravaged by Hurricane Melissa, and that we've all kind of like moved on. And that place is decimated and still dealing with some really big problems. So Adam doing his best to help folks. He has a house there and spends a lot of time in Jamaica. So we will get to that conversation. We obviously will address the Michigan story. It is grimy. It is difficult to talk about. It is one of those stories that I think we're all trying to figure out what exactly is going on. He's still in custody. Sharon Moore is still in police custody as we go on the air today. Why? It's assault. Who did he assault? When did he assault somebody? We don't know all those answers. All we know is the university has fired him with cause for an inappropriate relationship, which, if you believe the reports, it was with a staff member. He's a 32-year-old, so this is not somebody in their 20s or somebody young, but, you know, affairs happen. Do you get fired for affairs? Not often. It happens all the time, but clearly this is one that went awry, went badly. Something happened. There's been rumors of pregnancies and other things that may have impacted the story. So we'll get to that. It's a little bit unusual. It's not a story we talk about all that much here on the program because it's got a lot of layers to it. It is a little bit outside the purview of what we talk about, but we'll do that. Opening line, we will start on the NBA today because what OKC is doing, we just have to talk about it because we haven't talked much about it. The start is historic. The wins are amazing. I mean, they're not just winning games in the NBA. They are just completely embarrassing whoever they're playing. So we'll get to that. And then later in the show, news of the industry, more prediction market nonsense. It's, you know, they're forming trade coalitions now, like to fight back, to fight the good fight, led by Kalshi. We'll get to that coming up later in the program. But I want to answer a quick question at the top because somebody asked me this question here in the chat. Did you email the show for the hat and t-shirt giveaway? If you did that, I got it. I got a bunch of them yesterday. If you missed the show yesterday and don't know what that is in reference to, we are doing a giveaway, our first ever giveaway for a hat and t-shirt that will be given away before I leave for the Christmas break, which will be in 2 weeks from today or yesterday. It's really easy to enter. Hat and t-shirt, BVB shirt, BVB hat. You must be subscribed to our YouTube channel and you must be a Discord channel member. If you need to get to either one of those things, it's very easy to do so. You can get it from our website, thebvbshow.com. Take a screenshot of your subscription to our YouTube channel and your profile on Discord and email that to askthebvb@gmail.com. That is all you must do to enter. That's it. You're in. We're good to go. And then I'll pull the winner coming up here in the next 2 weeks. So plenty of time to enter. Don't feel like you got to do it like right now, but if you have not done it, you can do it. It was neat to see it last night on Sports Grid. I knew that the show was airing on Sports Grid because we started to see a bunch of entries, a bunch of emails came in from people off Sports Grid. So that was neat. Whenever you see that, I always like to know who's watching on Sports Grid. I always like to watch, you know, wherever you're watching, whether it be replay crew, whether it be audio. I always like to know where you're consuming the show. It helps me to kind of figure some things out. So that was neat last night. So you guys can do that. It's easy. Just email. If you have not gone to the website, it's pretty simple to go ahead and do so. Just go to bbbshow.com to join the Discord channel. And there is a video there you can click that will take you to our YouTube channel, in case you don't know, but at Boston versus the book for the YouTube channel as well to jump on in. So best of luck. It will be a hat and a t-shirt. The hat most likely will be customized, but depending on how fast you want it, because if we're doing a custom hat, it's going to take a little bit longer for us to get that done. But it could be a custom hat. It will be a t-shirt. It will be given away coming up here in 13 days or so. So you got plenty of time to go ahead and hop on in, but that is the contest giveaway coming up to be given away before the Christmas holiday. Let's talk some hoops. All right, opening line, and we talk a lot of football on Thursdays, okay? It's BetCris Arizona Thursday. We talk football today, except when we have history to talk about, because what OKC is doing is just ridiculous, like just flat out ridiculous what the Thunder are doing, and we're not talking about them. If this was the Lakers, if this was the Warriors, if this was the Celtics, if this was the Knicks, we would be talking about this. This would lead ESPN. This would be First Take. This would be you would be inundated with Chet Holmgren, with every player on the Thunder. You would be getting this nonstop. They are the defending champs. They have the reigning MVP, and they just put up their biggest blowout victory of the year last night in a game that wasn't close. They won by 49 points. The starters didn't play the whole fourth quarter for the Thunder. The Suns were without Devin Booker. Okay, fine. Doesn't really matter. The number was 13.5 or 14.5 for the Thunder last night for the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. And in case you were wondering if the Thunder care about the NBA Cup, there's your answer. They care about everything. And they are now 24-1 through the first 25 games of the, puts them into the same conversation and category of the OKC Thunder, who had the greatest regular season in the history of the NBA when they won 73 games. 24-1, 2015 and 16. They were winning games and they were dominant. Steph was in his prime. I mean, they were just revolutionizing basketball, revolutionizing the NBA. But the one difference that I would say about that, the one difference that I would say that it would separate the two teams is the domination, is what the Thunder are doing to their opponents. They've won 16 straight games. Their average margin of victory per win is 17.4 points. That's the average. Their average win is by 17 or more points. Like, that is unreal when you stop and think about NBA basketball in the era of LeBron, in the era of superstars and three-point shooting, that this team doesn't shoot a ton of threes. This team is one of the best two-point shooting teams of all time. SGA is not a three-point shooter like Steph Curry. SGA is a dribble, drive, penetration, get to the free throw line athlete. And what they are doing right now, we have to talk about them more. We have to give them more respect. They're 24-1. They're 12-0 at home. They're 12-1 on the road. They're 20-1 against the Western Conference. They're 20-1 against the West, the teams that they were competing against in the playoffs to get back to the NBA championship. They are 20-1. They're averaging 123.6 points per game. That is not the best in the NBA. It's one of the best, but the Nuggets are averaging more points than they are. It's number two. What they are number one at is defense. They are the number one defensive team in the NBA. They gave up 89 points last night to the Suns. They're only averaging giving up 106.2 points per game. This 16-game win streak, they're just mauling people. Again, their starters didn't play in the entire fourth quarter last night. And when you look at the odds, I mean, they are plus 110 to win the championship. The Nuggets are the next option at plus 750. SGA is expected, even though it's a closer race with him and Jokic, as to who's going to be the MVP. That fight has already started. SGA wins it last year. Jokic is right behind him. The Nuggets are right behind him. I mean, the team with the best odds in the East are the Knicks at 13-1. This is a 3-horse race, and only one of those teams can be in the NBA Finals with the Thunder, Nuggets, and Rockets. But this team is so young. This team is doing things that we have to just take a step back and go, hold on. They won the game 138-89 last night. And that game was over at halftime. In the fourth quarter, that was a G League team that they were running out there against the Suns. Like that game went over by 2 points. Actually went over by a half a point, depending when you bet it. I bet under 225.5. The game fell 227. I missed it because of one bucket, but it was all because of the G League 3-point shooting going on, because there were guys, the end of the bench, they were getting played last night at home against the Suns. It was awful basketball, but it didn't matter because the game, that is what this team is capable of doing when they don't need to play their best players for the fourth quarter. They just sit them down and say, game's over, we're good. The Warriors in 2015-16 opened up 48-4. They went on to 73-9 with the best record in the NBA, in NBA history. The Bulls won 72 games. The Warriors won 173. I'm going to be really curious to see what happens in the next couple of weeks, because these guys are young enough, they would care about this. This team is so young and so good that they will need motivation. They will need something to get them night in and night out to produce at a very high level. And I think going and making history and catching the Warriors is the exact carrot that I think the team could use, and this team could actually take some type of pride in setting the record for the greatest single season in NBA history. You know what's really scary about this when you're looking at this for the future? Not only is SGA not technically in his prime, not only is Chet Holmgren signed, not only are they deep with young talent, this team next year, currently, now this is currently, it could improve based upon what happens for the picks that they have. But the Thunder have the 3rd pick, the 19th pick, and the 27th pick in next year's NBA draft. They have the power, if they get an injury or they have any type of deficiency, they have the draft picks to go and address it immediately. Like this team, we've talked dynasty a lot in football, but in terms of the ability to have a dynasty, the Oklahoma City Thunder are set up to dominate the NBA for the next 5 years. If they stay healthy and they hit on a couple of these draft picks and they continue to do what they have done over the last couple of weeks to start this season, I mean, yes, they're probably going to end up with the 1st pick overall. Yes. And they've got some amazing weapons to choose from with the 1st pick overall, or they could trade it and they could do something else with it. But have we ever had a franchise? I can't remember this in my head. I can't. And this is just, I'm 48 years old. Maybe some NBA historian will know more than me. Have we ever had a team win back-to-back NBA championships and then have a top 3 draft pick the next year? Like, it's hard enough to go back-to-back, right? You win back-to-back championships, which by all accounts, if they don't win the championship, something really wild will have happened. So you have back-to-back championships, and then you wind up with the 1st pick in the draft. I don't think that's ever happened before. Like, to my knowledge, that's never happened before. So, like, that's insane. Like, that is one of those things where you're like, hold on. What are they going to do? And we need to talk. And someone in the chat just said, should we do a Thunder watch? Not yet. I don't think we're there just yet, but we're close. to start watching the record, to do a Thunder watch. We're close, Tyrone. I mean, put it this way. If we get to Valentine's Day and they've got, let's see. So Valentine's Day now is what? 3, 4, 9 weeks away. Maybe we'll do President's Day. Let's do President's Day. No, that's in February, right? What's a holiday in January? Isn't there a holiday in January? Whatever holiday there is in January. There's some holiday in January. Middle of the month. We'll go middle of the month in January. Whatever the middle of the month January is, if they're there on pace, we'll start a Thunder watch. We'll start watching how close. We'll start tracking them to the Warriors and keeping track to see if they can get to 74 wins. Right now, it feels like a foregone conclusion. MLK Day. All right, let's do that. That's fine. New Year's is in January. Thanks, Addison. Thanks. Appreciate that. Yes, New Year's is in January. We'll do MLK Day. Okay, let's do that. Well, if they're on pace when we hit the middle of the month in January, we'll do a Thunder watch and we'll keep track of it because I think it's going to be a fun fall and a fun spring or winter and a fun spring with this Thunder team because they're running away with it right now. I mean, they're almost even money. You're almost laying juice on them to win the championship at this point. They're plus 110 to win it all. That's just, oh my. I know where he is. It's time for you guys to find out where in the world is our guy, Adam Bjorn. On a Arizona Thursday, he is the one and only Adam Bjorn, the world traveler himself. How are you, sir? I think I know where you are. But where are you these days?
Yes, I'm in my office in Costa Rica. The last one for the year, though. I am heading on the road Sunday night, so we'll be a different location next week for sure. I don't know what that location is. I just know it'll be a different location next Thursday.
I love this. Is so fun. I don't know where I'm going to be. I'll be somewhere on Thursday, but I'm not sure where on Thursday I will wind up being. Before we get to football, we put out the video that you put out yourself about the palette you put together for the folks in Jamaica. Just give folks an update. How is that going? How does that get from the palette to the people in Jamaica?
So that was in Miami. I was outside the shipping warehouse that I put the freight forwarder. It was on the ocean somewhere. Last I checked, it should be docking in Jamaica either this week in the next days or after the weekend. I am going to Jamaica next week for probably 5-6 days to start clearing that and then distributing it out among the various locations per se, probably over that Christmas period and whatnot. So just generally waiting for the freight forwarders and that to sort of say, hey, it's here, we've got it. Where do you want us to deliver it? And then send it there and then start issuing it out. And, one of the key pieces that I've got, not in that video, is sort of the 800 blue tarpaulins that I'm really looking forward to sort of getting those out. Because from what I'm seeing, there's some structures and whatnot, but there's really no roofs and people and stuff like that. So while we've got some food and some clothes and underwear and, shoes and whatnot, that's the one that I hope to sort of, just get spread across houses, somewhat bring some shelter back. Because that was the biggest feedback from when my wife went out and did the feeding people was, again, it started to rain and no one really had anywhere to run to.
How do you distribute it? I mean, obviously it's a difficult environment, but there's got to be some safety concerns for you guys, right? I mean, you have to make sure that you're okay because that's a island full of people that are desperate. People might do desperate things, right?
Yeah. So that's when my wife went out, they had local, politician partners. They had the Jamaican Defense Force, things like that. So yes, definitely being mindful of where we're going. Definitely looking for places that have, some infrastructure of people overseeing certain things to get in there and do it. Yes, as a white guy, not looking to go into every location per se. But again, I mean, look, as bad as a rep as Jamaica gets overall, they're some of the nicest, kindest people. Yes, they're through turbulence and everything right now, so they're feeling it. But I'll tell you what, the spirit of some of the people, the energy to rebuild this thing back has been, quite admirable and sort of surprising in some spots as well. So, we're sort of been plotting out strategies, which towns to go into, where to go. those kind of things. And the other aspect of it is there's still a lot of issues with health warnings. There's cholera at one point. There's a rat disease that I can't pronounce, so I won't even try, where there's been significant deaths of, infected water, infected food, stuff like that. So, yes, very mindful of what we're trying to do. Yes, trying to partner with groups. And obviously, we once had BetCris Jamaica operating, so we did get to sort of meet a lot of different people in different places, clients, customers that have reached out as well saying, I'm here, our area is affected, things like that. So, it'll end up being like a mosquito bite on what impact we can ultimately have with how much damage was done. But the idea is just to chip away as best as we can.
Yeah, you're doing way more than anyone else is, way more than most. So yeah, absolutely. What you're doing is totally commendable. And look, I was there in April, so I'm much more paler than you. You have more color than me. I stood out like like my girlfriend laughed. She was like, "My God, you're like a beacon. Like you're just like I have white hair. I've got white skin, like light white skin. So I can definitely understand that point that you can feel like, okay, I'm definitely standing out here. So I'm glad to hear you guys taking the proper precautions. But my gosh, thank you, bless you for doing that, because those people, the pictures are awful out there. And if you guys want to help Adam, we've linked it on our Discord channel. You guys can go on it under the Brigade chat. You can go and check out the link to go and help Adam raise money and do things for the great folks of Jamaica. All right, let's get to tonight, because obviously there's a huge development here with the fact that Mike Evans has been cleared and Mike Evans is going to play here. The number has gone up from 4 to 5.5 for the Bucks with that news. What are you seeing late here from an action standpoint, and are folks betting that news that Mike Evans is playing tonight for Tampa?
Yeah, heavy money on Tampa. The 3.5, the 4, the 4.5 all got hit. It literally skipped 5 and went straight to 5.5. 80% overall on the Buccaneers, 91% of the master money's on the Buccaneers, and a lot of that was at the 3.5, the 4. But it's all, generally one-way action right now. We're definitely going to need the Falcons. There's good volume on it so far. So, and I know we'll get double, triple that over the next, 3-4 hours. Yeah. But right now it's looking clearly that we will need the Falcons tonight.
My thought is, and I'm on the Bucks -4. My thought is it's going to be Bucks -3, because Baker Mayfield as a home favorite is an absolute disaster. They have to win, but they have to win this game because of what's going on. They lost 3 games in a row. The Panthers have caught them, and this is a game that, they're at home. They got to win their home games, and the Falcons have lost 9 straight games outside. So the Falcons stink outside in weather outside in Tampa. So I think they lose the game. But I think you guys might wind up with how much steam's coming in. I hate this. Like, this is like, I'm sitting at 4. I think you guys are going to be happy at the end of the night. I think the Bucks are going to win by 3, and I'm going to go, geez, I'm going to lose by a point on this because the number was 4, and that was the right number, and the number was perfectly placed to make people bet Tampa. Bucks win, but Falcons probably cover. So I think you guys are probably in a good spot.
Who would have thought you'd be saying that week 15? The Panthers caught the Buccaneers.
Right? Jeez, one team going that way, another team going the other way. So yeah, in December, it's crazy how the NFL can work. Okay, so you're in Costa Rica. Beautiful, gorgeous weather, warm, beautiful beaches. Let's talk the exact opposite. The exact opposite is Soldier Field, and the word historic is never good. It is expected to be one of the coldest games in the history of Soldier Field coming up when the Bears face off against the Browns. The number is 7.5. Everyone's betting the under. In this, you're seeing heavy under action?
Generally, there is under action. It's not heavy. It's about 62% on the under. About 53% of the master money's on the under. If I just quickly jump in, a bunch of it was at 41, 40.5. A little bit over the 39, 38.5 has popped up. But yeah, on the game side, it's 84%. Chicago, 70% master money on Cleveland, and the numbers are -7.8. So the 7, no matter which way it's bouncing there for that game right now. And it is also the biggest bet game of the week so far.
Wow. With the worst weather, it's the biggest bet game of the week. Is it pros versus Joes, or is it the number that matters?
So it seems like on the master side, the -7 and the +8 are getting taken by the masters, a bit more +8. Than there is at the -7. But yeah, that's where it's at right now.
My gosh. I'm asking everyone this question, and I'm stealing it from the internet because I saw somebody else ask it, but I'm gonna steal it because it's a great question. If I gave you a ticket for free to go and watch this game, Bears Browns in -10 wind chill, would you go?
No. I've been sitting here. We have our cameras on our Michigan property, and there's more snow. And the funniest thing I find is when you look up the weather and it says, -7, feels like -15, and there's a little picture of a sun there on the weather guide. Like, when does that ever make sense, seeing a picture of a sun when you're seeing -7, and yes, that's my Celsius, so whatever that is, low 20s, mid 20s, something like that.
Yes,
yeah,
cold.
But but no, I don't need to see Chicago, Cleveland that much.
I can't wait to see how many fans actually show up, because if you're going to that game, you are truly a diehard fan, and I'll give you major respect, because I would not be sitting in -10-degree wind chill. It's worse enough just to be outside and playing football in that weather, let alone sitting there and not moving and just having to watch basically bad football for 4 quarters to be outside. That's like a danger zone. Like, exposed skin can start to get, problematic, and no, thank you. I have no interest. It's going to be cold in New England, and the Patriots have been really good at home when the weather dips below freezing, and it's expected to be about 28 degrees in Foxborough when the Patriots play the Bills in what is arguably the biggest game of the weekend. It is a hat and t-shirt game, the first one in 5 years for us in New England, because we used to get used to this every year, where it was clinching the East. At some point in December, you would win the AFC East. Now it's Drake May's turn, but they are home dogs. Please tell me the Masters are taking the Patriots on this side, because the Bills being favored, I hate the word trap and all this stuff, but one team's won 10 straight. One team beat the Bills at the Bills. They're off a bye, and they're dogs at them?
Listen, when I saw this line, I thought for sure this game was in Buffalo, because I thought I must have looked at the schedule wrong. Because when I saw Buffalo -1 with the way New England have been playing, and it's almost like, what? Now the overall money is 50-50.
Okay.
100% of every penny of master money is on the Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
They come at +1. They took the -1. And that's where it's sitting. But one interesting note I did see was 97% of the regular money on New England is actually teaser money, teasing it up over the 7, 7.5, 8. But so far, this has been a low volume game.
My gosh, I figured as much, but I don't know. I'm just on a pure principle. You're going to give me a dog that's won 10 in a row, that's already beaten the team that they've faced. No one buys. I just wonder, if the Patriots win, do the professionals finally give Drake May and company the credit that they deserve as to what they are doing? I know everyone's thinking that they're due to trip up, but off a bye, it's the position of this game. It's so crazy. The Bills were lucky to win last week. 2 picks by Joe Burrow in the 4th quarter. They should have won last week.
100%. I looked at that. I watched most of that game last week. And again, like, how do you come out of that looking at Buffalo against Cincinnati, how that game played out, and going, oh, let's make them a favorite on the road in New England, a team that keeps running. And May is now, I believe, the favorite of the MVP.
Yes.
Like, there is money coming in and that, constant money. So they're supporting him as that. Now, if he's going to drop some games, then obviously he's going to, get questioned about, is he still there with 5 weeks to go? But this doesn't make sense to me, this one.
I'm with you on this. Ravens are against the Bengals. And speaking of road favorites, they're favored on the road here. The Ravens are 6-7. Sorry if you have kids in the car. But I don't know what to do with this game. It's Joe Burrow. T. Higgins is probably not going to play, although he was, quote, limited today due to the concussion situation he's dealing with. The Ravens have to win. Their backs are against the wall, but they're on the road. They just lost to Pittsburgh. Where's the money on this one going?
When I clicked on this game and started looking at it, I accidentally clicked on the previous game. Like, perfect identical. 50-50 on the overall money. Wow. 98% of the master money is on Baltimore. 98% of teaser money is on the Bengals at home. I didn't check if those 2 games are the teaser of the week, with them both going over the touchdown home dog. Yeah. But when I dug in, like, these 2 games, Buffalo, New England, Baltimore, Cincinnati, chart-wise are just identical.
Unbelievable. Our good friend Dave Sherapen used to say, the numbers tell the story. What are we doing with the Colts and the Seahawks? Is Rivers playing? 44-year-old, I'm 48, 44-year-old Phillip Rivers on the road against the number one defense in the NFL, against a team that just beat up their opponent 31-3 in the fourth quarter on the road against Atlanta. Does the numbers say that Rivers is the quarterback, or does it not matter who plays quarterback for the Indy Colts coming up here because the Seahawks are going to kill them?
Well, one, I mean, I only really just realized Rivers was even a conversation when you sent over the pre-show notes. Like, listen, I was on the Chargers for so many years to win the Super Bowl. I backed this Rivers for, a decade, more, whatever, on this side of it. When I saw that is Rivers QB, I was like, is there some other Rivers? So I started to dive in, dig in. I was looking at who's the backup. Who else is there? I mean, the line's 13.5. It actually went to 14 while I was doing this. 64% of the money's on the Colts, 53% of the master money's on the Seahawks. It is low volume.
Okay.
Master money is plus 15 on the Colts, minus 13.5 on Seattle is what they're taking. Rivers is up for the Hall of Fame next year. If he gets put on the list, he's going.
Not anymore. He just reset the clock. No, he signed the contract.
I mean,
he reset the clock. It's 5 more years.
So now it's another 5 years. Like, speechless. Don't know where to go with this one, but this will be an interesting game to watch. A guy that, I mean, hasn't had a snap in 4 or 5 years. Like, where did this come from?
COVID was the last time he took a snap. The Colts were the last team he played for. So he knows Shane Steichen's offense, and that's why they brought him in, because he knows the offense. But it shows you the state of quarterback play in the NFL when there's no one else but a 44-year-old high school football coach to go and bring in to play NFL football for the first time in 5 years.
Wow.
He's going to get killed. The Seahawks are going to kill the Colts. Like, they're going to kill them. Like, this is, I don't always recommend laying points. Sam Darnold in his career, when he is a 6-point or more favorite, is 11-0 straight up and 9-2 ATS. So I don't care what the number is. Seahawks win this game. They beat the Vikings 26-0 at home. It's a rinse and repeat. The last home game they played was against Minnesota. Same type of thing. 28-0, 31-3, something along those lines. Game goes under because the Colts are not going to score against Seattle. We do have another home dog, and it's a team that's won 10 games in a row. It's the Broncos. It's the same question here to you about the Packers laying 2.5 to the Broncos, who are a much better team at home. Bo Nix is a much better quarterback at home, and yet he's a home dog against the Packers. Where's the money coming in at?
So this was another one. When I looked at it, I thought I looked at the schedule wrong, that Green Bay must have been at home. 60% of the money on Denver, 82% of the master money's on Green Bay. This is a mid-volume game so far. These 3 games have just gotten me confused completely this week. Almost like it comes back to those times, and you said it earlier. Some of these games just feel like setups, like the numbers just can't be right. They end up being right, and you feel foolish. But this is an odd week this week.
Really is, and for the 10 people that are left in Circa Survivor, good luck trying to find which teams you have left to take on this for what will be a big amount of money. Sunday night, if the number one game is Cleveland and Chicago, how much action are we seeing on Rams Lions? It's got to be heavy, no?
Yeah, this is good. It was just under the other game. 68% of the money's on the Rams, 50-50 on the master chart. The Rams money come in at 4.5 and 5. There's been some comeback on Detroit at plus 6.5 on this one. So yeah, this one, this will get a lot of money.
Yeah, and it'll all roll. The whole day will roll into this game, and obviously it's a monster game for the Lions. Big game for the Rams too, because if the Seahawks win, they're 11-3. The Rams want to keep pace in the division, so they need this game. Stafford and McVay in December have been tremendous. 16-3 ATS run in December for Sean McVay over the last 4 seasons. So he's done really well here in the month of December. But this is a Lions team that's really desperate to get a win. So that's a good game on Sunday Night Football to watch. All right, only one game period on Saturday for college football, and it's Army-Navy. Historically speaking, what's the handle like for this game? Do you guys get bet heavy because it's the only game and it's people tend to watch it, or is it, it's Army-Navy, we're not betting that game?
No, the live action's generally been good on this. You usually don't get a lot of pre-game, but when it's a standalone game again, you get people tuning in, nothing else on, just trying to, feel their hunger until the bowls start rolling out. But this one, and Army, oddly enough, I've been on Army quite a few times this year as data plays when generally all the money's been on Navy. There's been some master money on Army. I know there's been a few Saturday nights that I've, had to get them home to sort of save the day, whatnot. Right now, it's 67% of the money on Navy, 100% of the master money on Navy.
Wow.
Generally, they'll come in at -4.5, -5.5, and a bit at 6. But it seems like they're only heading one way right now.
Anybody daring to bet the over? This is always the under game.
The chart on the total is well balanced, but the master money is on the over.
Wow.
It's not a lot of money. Actually, from shortcut keys, over 37.5, over 38, and then there's a tickle back on the under 38.5.
How about that? That's always that game that everyone just says, close your eyes, bet the under, and don't worry about it. It's a master money coming in here on the over. This is interesting. So we've talked chop before. You're pro chop, right? I haven't heard yet what the folks are going to do with the $18.7 million for Circa Survivor, but there's 10 entries left. Shouldn't everybody take $1 million and just play out for the rest?
100%. That was exactly what I was going to say. Me and each play for the last 8. That's if anyone suggested it, I'd be saying, job done. But I haven't heard what they're looking at. I haven't looked at Seattle availability. There's any there, but that's what I'd be doing.
10 times your money. I know. I mean, 100 times your money, rather. It's $1,000 entry to win $1 million, and then you play out for the rest. I can't believe we haven't heard that as of yet. But you're still alive for circa $1 million. How did last week go for you in the millions contest?
Worst week ever.
Oh,
Squarest week ever. When I looked at it, I deer in the headlights. I played some very square stuff, very against my normal MO, which I'm going back to. I haven't even looked where I'm standing this week. I'm not going to look. I'm going straight back to just the way I did things, and I'll see it at the end.
To see where you are. You only got 4 weeks left. You got, you got 15, 16, 17, 18, and week 18 could actually be a good week because there could be a lot of teams in flux for being in or out of the playoffs, division championships maybe on the line. So it may not be a bad 18 is always a hellish betting week, but it may not be that bad for betting in circa millions coming up for week 18. So Adam, thank you for the time. Great information as always. I know you're not going to be this, but enjoy Costa Rica. It's gonna be glorious down there at the moment. It's cold everywhere else.
It's blue skies. The morning the sun was out, windows were down in the car, driving into the office. Spectacular day. I'll take it because I'm probably heading some cold weather next week.
Yeah, right. Back in Michigan. Oh, I forgot to ask you, how did the play of the day go for you last week? You guys hit it again?
We nailed it, of course. The easiest cover of the day, the Raiders against the Broncos, the 7.5. Dancing through the raindrops right now. That was it was as comical as it comes. I feel bad for those that were on the Broncos, but we covered.
Yeah, take it and run because Pete Carroll's your best friend kicking that field goal at that moment. Under, misses, the team total goes over. It's a whole, put it this way, in Vegas, it was the A block of the news on Monday. That's how big of a story it was here in town. It was a huge story. The news was covering that because Carroll kicked that field goal. But so you'll go live.
I turned it off. Yeah, I turned it off. It was actually my bookie in Jamaica said, "Wow, we covered," and I'm like, "What? Which game?" And he said, "I was like, oh, okay. All right then."
Unbelievable. What time will you go live on Sunday? Do you think?
Sunday morning, usually about 30 minutes before the first games kick off. I will be still in Costa Rica because my flight's red eye at night. And then Saturday night we're still doing the millions and circa with Scott, Vegas Horse Pools, which will be at our regular 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific as well.
7 Eastern. Good stuff. We'll be watching. Adam, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll talk next week. All right.
All right. Cheers. Thanks, Matt.
Adam Bjorn, BetCris Arizona, joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book every Thursday on a BetCris Thursday. Great information and great stuff. And if you haven't been tuning into what Adam does, they've been red hot with their picks. Like they give out a play of the day, and they've been, you guys like following winners. It's a good one to jump in with here, to jump in with those guys, because they've been really crushing it right before kickoff for the NFL and on Saturday night, looking ahead to the millions as well. Again, if you haven't, speaking of that, by the way, if you guys haven't been doing this, it's a little secret that I think folks outside of Vegas don't look and see who is leading Circa Millions. Okay. Look and see what entries are in the top 10, right? You can see on Sunday morning, you can see what they picked. Go to circasports.com. You can look and see. It doesn't always work out this way, right? But if you see a bunch of the top teams all being on a side that surprise you, like, for instance, if you see a bunch of teams take the Colts at plus 13.5 this week, and I'm not recommending doing that, I'd say take Seattle, but just for instance, and everyone's like, how in the hell is that happening? There's a reason why those guys are leading the Circa Million contest, okay? Because they're sharp and they've got good information and they've got good models and they're able to look and break things down. That is the type of information you can use to trail, okay? I do it. Other people do it. You look and see what the hottest teams are doing and what their numbers are and what they're taking, and then use it. Don't go blindly with it, but use it as part of your handicap. It also can be used to get off of a game that you might be absolutely in love with. And then you look and see, and you realize that some sharper people than you are on the other side. It's best not to play the game. Just sometimes the best bet you make is the one you don't play, is the best bet you don't make. So circasports.com, they put out the spreadsheet every week. Take a look at it before you make your bets on Sunday. Take a look at it. Just use it as a piece of information and go ahead and use it with, oh, look at that. Hold on. Josie Myers, I got you. Hold on. You guys can use it for your handicapping as you go into the NFL week on Sunday. So just a little tidbit there how you can use over the last month, how you can use Circa Sports, the Million contest, to help you. Josie Myers just went ahead and said it. He's going to do it. He's starting the Thunder watch on the show. All right, let's roll. Do they pass the 2015, 2016 Warriors? Good stuff. All right, man. Appreciate your time. We've not done one of these since Ohtani, so we go back and do that. So appreciate you. Appreciate your time. We'll keep track of it and watch it as the Thunder try to become the most, and they're on pace, right? 24-1. They just tied the start. So 24-1 for the Warriors, 24-1 coming up here for the Thunder in 2025, 2026. Good stuff with that. Let's talk about what happened last night. Okay, full disclosure. These are topics that I don't talk about all that much just because it's really grimy. Michigan fired Sharon Moore for cause last night. The headlines that have come out in the wake of this are really, really bad. He was acting strange before he was arrested for assault. He is currently still in custody in Michigan for what the police are saying he's a danger to the general public. He was fired for an inappropriate relationship that was for cause. It is really difficult to fire somebody for cause. You have to have your ducks in a row and you have to be able to prove everything. Because if you go to court and you get discovery and you have all sorts of issues, I mean, the contract gets raked over by the lawyers. They start poking holes in all your story. You got to have it buttoned down to fire a football coach to get out from the buyout that you owe him. So there's multiple problems for Coach Moore. Clearly, the inappropriate relationship, he was having an affair with a subordinate. By reports, it was his football secretary, okay? She's 32, okay? There were reports that she was really young, that she was like 22. No, that was wrong. There was misinformation all over the internet last night. Like if you were somebody trying to find that story and get some accuracy with that story, it was very difficult to find the truth until like 4 or 5 hours later, and then it all came out. So she's well of age. Coach Moore is 40, married with 3 kids. So he's having an affair. He's not the first one. He won't be the last one to have an affair. But the affair was illegal by his contract and by the university's standards. So that has to be proven that he did conduct this affair, and then it happened. And when did they find out about the affair? Well, that's the debate, right? Because it happened a week after signing day, and a lot of Ohio State people are saying, well, isn't that convenient that you just happened to find out about this affair, because the allegations include that she may or may not have been pregnant. Coach Moore may or may not have paid for an abortion. Coach Moore may or may not have gotten into some type of physical altercation with somebody. We don't know who, but it was bad enough that he is in custody and the police won't let him out. So, like, I don't know. I don't know how this all goes. I just know that this is a big job that is open right now. And the craziest name that I've heard associated with this job is Kellen DeBoer, that the head coach of Alabama might get out before the masses run him out of Tuscaloosa, and he may go to Michigan and take the Michigan job. Frankly, it's a much better fit culturally. All right. I said it when he got hired. When Kellen DeBoer got hired, I said, this normally blows up and doesn't go right. Auburn tried it where they went to a guy out west with no ties to the SEC, and it didn't work. Same thing now is going on with Alabama. You hire a guy from the Pacific Northwest who has no ties to the South and no ties to the SEC. And so you're expecting that coach to be the guy. He's going to take over for Nick Saban. Like, he was done from the start. So if Kellen DeBoer were to take the Michigan job, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him at all. It's an unbelievable job. It comes with all sorts of pressure, but Michigan in the NIL world, in the transfer portal world, I mean, Michigan, they pick. They don't recruit. They pick. You got a stud young quarterback for the next 2 years, and you can do and really you can turn that program around. 9-3 is not a bad year by most standards. It is by Michigan standards, but that's what DeBoer's been doing in Alabama, and that doesn't fit. I mean, he got railroaded in the SEC championship game by Georgia. Got killed. And my Bama friends are furious at what happened in that game. Not that Bama lost, but the way they lost to Georgia. They got manhandled in that game. And that was Kirby Smart, exercising some demons that he's had up against a very good Alabama program that he could not beat up till Saturday when he won the SEC championship. So now, if DeBoer is willing, after the college football playoff game at Oklahoma, where it's a pick'em, if he loses that game, which is very possible that Bama will lose, they lost Oklahoma in Tuscaloosa. What are they going to do now in Norman? So if they lose that game to Oklahoma in the opening round of the college football playoffs, well, now the folks are even more angry. Alabama fans are even more upset. And would DeBoer then go to Michigan and take that job? If that were to happen, the craziest thing, I don't believe that Lane Kiffin would leave LSU, but Alabama has been his dream job. Like, he has talked about both LSU and Alabama being his dream jobs. He got LSU. So now if Bama were to become open, does he go, my God, why didn't I just wait? I could have coached my team in the playoff. I could have avoided all this bad publicity, and I could have gotten the Alabama job. So how this all shakes out, this being open right now is a problem, because it is after it is after the situation. And Lane Kiffin in Michigan. See, you guys are funny. This is all, I don't know. I'll be very curious to see the fallout from what coaches are going to be interested in the Michigan job, because there's going to be a litany of coaches that want this job. But how, for the high level guys, for the big level guys, what exactly do you want to go in there in that situation? Because there are still NCAA sanctions from the Jim Harbaugh years. Okay. Jim Harbaugh handpicked Sherrone Moore to replace him. His offensive line coach became his offensive coordinator, who became the head coach, who never really should have gotten the job to begin with. We all kind of were stunned that Moore got the job anyway. And so he beat the expectations. He did things that people weren't expecting him to do. And so now, if you're Michigan, do you go back to the family? Do you go and get the best available? Do you wait till the playoffs are over? I think that's probably the most prudent thing. Like, just wait for a month or two. But can you really do that? In today's NIL world, in today's transfer portal world, can you really wait until the middle of January to hire a head coach for the next season? I don't know if you can. You may need to do it right now. That's why Lane Kiffin left Ole Miss. He left Ole Miss because of the calendar. He had to take LSU right now because of the signing day and transfer portal and everything else. So that, he said that, blame the calendar for why I had to leave. But this is after signing day. And this is a really big deal. I mean, Kevin said they can't wait 48 hours. I don't know. But yes, the dominoes would be insane. If DeBoer would go to Michigan, the dominoes would be crazy. I would totally agree. Because the Alabama job's open. So then Lane Kiffin has always been the heir apparent to that job. There's always been this thought that Lane Kiffin was going to become the coach of Alabama because he has wanted to be the head coach of Alabama since he was on Saban's staff. And so bringing him back, that was always like the fall safe for Bama fans that hey, if this guy doesn't work, we'll go get Lane Kiffin. Well, Lane Kiffin now is at LSU. So your natural successor is not there. So what do? This feels very similar from Alabama. This feels very similar to what happened in the wake of Bear Bryant and how it all kind of unraveled once the 92 championship team went down and didn't happen anymore, right? I was there for the craziness. I saw 5 coaches in 4 years, Mike Price and Mike Dubose and Dennis Francione. I was there for all that nonsense. And it was just every 2 years, new coach. So if you go from Saban to DeBoer to somebody else, and DeBoer decides to leave on his own, and he leaves versus getting fired, he just says, I'm done, goodbye. I mean, this is what other programs have had problems with, Nebraska being one of them, where you're just in this constant cycle of every 3 or 4 years trying to find the right head coach. And if you're Alabama, I think you have to be really worried. And maybe this is just DeBoer floating it out there to make people in Bama kind of stop talking and calm down. But that job being out there, that's always the point where Bama fans would be like, well, where are you going to go that's better than Alabama? You're at the pinnacle. Well, are you? You're at one of the pinnacles. But if you can take a lateral move and get out before they run you out, and frankly, look, Michigan fans are nuts. Insane. Michigan, Ohio State fans are legendary, but they're not SEC fans. I've said this before for a long time. There's a different level of psychosis and sickness in the South when it comes to the football coach and the football programs. They just don't stop and they don't let up. Any loss is unacceptable. Any season where you're not winning the national championship is a failure. The bar is just, people in the South do not put football in a proper, healthy place. And I know Ohio State and Michigan fans obsess over the game, and I get it, but they don't. The game is their obsession. Beating Ohio State or beating Michigan, that's the obsession. The SEC, it's winning the damn spring game. It's what do you look like in the spring game that matters? If you miss out on a 5-star recruit, go somewhere else, it's nuclear war because you lost that program to that program. So there's just so much that goes on. Man, Sarkisian to Bama. Boy, it does make sense. Sark would make sense to go there. I mean, remember, Sark had there's a lot of stuff that's there. There's a lot of, I don't know. That would be interesting. Could you imagine Ed Orgeron in Alabama? That would be amazing. You'd have to lock up the sororities. Ed Orgeron would be a danger. In Tuscaloosa, that dude running, oh my. It's not, by the way, that was Auburn fans. That was That was a Bama fan poisoning Auburn, right? Yeah, that was a Bama fan poisoning the tree at Toomer's Corner. So yeah, those Bama fans. They do poison trees in Alabama. Yeah. Sark isn't leaving Arch. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if you leave Texas. I'm not sure if you leave Texas for Alabama if you're Sarkisian. I'm not sure you make that move. Because again, at Texas, they have high standards, but they don't have the same standards they used to. They're not on the same level that they used to. So I'm not sure Arch would go with Sark to Alabama. Oh my. I don't think Freeman's leaving. This is the other thought, that Freeman is going to leave. Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame is going to go get the Giants job. I don't think he wants to go anywhere. Like, why would he want to go to the NFL? Like, it'll always be there. Like, those jobs will always be there. I don't think Freeman's going to leave. Not now. He's too young. You can stay around, have a good time. Go to the NFL when it matters. You don't need to do that. Yeah. Coach O's interview with Bussin' with the Boys. Coach O's interviews anywhere are tremendous. Are just tremendous. The clip of him talking when they set him down to fire him and they told him the buyout they were going to give him. He was like, which door am I walking through? Like, which door am I walking out? You're going to give me how much? Like, I think they gave him like $10 million on a buyout. He was like, bye. I'm good. Thank you very much. That dude is good. Like, he doesn't need to do anything. But he could go back to coaching. Coaching at Bama would be hysterical because Lane Kiffin should be at Alabama and Ed Orgeron should be at LSU. So that would be a little bit of a weird trading places type situation if that were to happen. I don't know if Alabama fans would be all into Ed Orgeron, to be quite honest. I'm not sure how they'd feel about him. But I always say he'd never coach at Bama. Oh, okay. He said he never would coach there. Okay. I get that. I would understand that, why he wouldn't coach at Alabama. I'm not sure if Bama would want him. I think that there's a there. So, it's who gets that job. It's going to be very interesting. We've talked about the death of bowl games quite a bit, and we have another story. The LA Bowl is ending. Saturday will be the last time. Washington, Boise State. It was created just 5 years ago. Mountain West against a Pac-12 team. There are no Pac-12 teams, so there's a problem there of finding the right opponent. But Washington, Boise State, LA Bowl will join the Bahamas Bowl as the latest bowl games to be canceled. We are watching the end of the bowl schedule. And frankly, it's a good thing. This is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. We got way too bloated. Bowl games became way too common. If we can go back to having like 10 bowl games and those 10 bowl games all matter, are all significant, that all carry some weight, that would be a great thing. If all these lower level, weird Duke's Mayo Bowl type crap, okay, all those games, to get rid of all of them, and we go back to the Citrus Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the bowl games that carry some real meaning, let's go back to those games. I'm good. Like that. That's a good thing. Okay. Historic, well-funded, well-endowed bowl games that have the funds, not these fly-by night, even in the Las Vegas Bowl, like, taking the 4th or the 5th teams in these conferences. No. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th teams in these conferences. No, don't like it at all. I have no problem with bowl games ending. I have no problem with only the real successful ones sticking around. And sorry, Brooke, I would even kill the Pop-Tart Bowl. I'd kill them all. I'd kill anyone that doesn't have a real, anyone that doesn't have a real purpose. Like, it has to be actually like something of substance to me. Like, what am I getting out of the game? 2 top teams, 10-win teams, battling it out, like playing for pride. They didn't make the playoffs. Like, you gotta have a bowl game that a team like Notre Dame will want to play in, versus taking their ball and going home, like what happened this year, because there wasn't a bowl game that they were happy with that could suffice for not making the playoffs. Too many teams are not going to bowl games this year because they know in the NIL transfer portal world, it's not worth it. However, you look at the basketball tournament for the players era, each team gets $1 million to play in that, and everyone wants to play in it. Now, it's a regular season tournament in November versus end of the football season. But you get my point. You put enough money on the table and the kids are going to go play. So you got to build like bowl games with the players era mentality. Put money on the table, then the kids will go play. Kind of sick to say, but that's the reality of today's college football world. If you guys are watching live, don't move. More to come here in bonus time. If you're on Sports Grid, thank you for watching. We appreciate you on this BetCris Arizona Thursday. Adam Bjorn, thank you to him for coming on in. We're back tomorrow on the final Fight Song Friday for the college football regular season, end of season. We'll do Fight Song Friday probably later in January, but at least for 2025, tomorrow, our last Fight Song Friday. We will get to that tomorrow. Hope to see you all back. The rest of you guys who are watching live, bonus time now. I'm saying the Pop-Tart Bowl is not well endowed. No. on multiple ways. Although this year, I guess the Pop-Tart Bowl is going to have 5 or 6 edible mascots. So do that with what you will on that. See, now I'm bringing Pop-Tarts. It's good marketing. What's your favorite Pop-Tart? What's your favorite Pop-Tart? Because have you ever had a bad Pop-Tart? Like the only one I could say that is a bad Pop-Tart, like if you eat the unfrosted strawberry, not toasted, that's the worst Pop-Tart ever created. Unfrosted, not toasted Pop-Tart is like cardboard. Cannot be eaten. But other than that, it's kind of hard to make a bad Pop-Tart, right? Like the s'mores, everyone, the plain, what's a plain Pop-Tart? Is that the strawberry? What's a plain Pop-Tart? I don't ever heard of a plain Pop-Tart. Unfrosted, anything untoasted is terrible. Fine. I'll give that to you. Yeah, that's true. Sonic likes cherry frosted, was doing s'mores for a while, but realized it was too damn rich. Okay. That's true. Psychopathic behavior, unfrosted strawberry. Yes, I would agree. Now, I can't eat Pop-Tarts. So as someone who has a gluten allergy, I can't eat Pop-Tarts. So there's been this there's a couple of different food groups for the for the gluten-free folks that we have always dreamt of having. And Pop-Tarts are high on the list of things that if you could create a good mass-produced gluten-free Pop-Tart, and there are people who have tried it, okay? It is very difficult to produce a tasty Pop-Tart that is gluten-free. If someone could figure it out, they would do very, very well. And I have shopped and I have tried and I have been gluten-free now for the better part of a decade. And it's funny. I was talking to someone yesterday about this. Whole Foods used to be the GOAT for gluten-free food. It's no longer. For you on the West Coast, East Coast folks, you won't know what I'm talking about. But there's a supermarket chain here on the West Coast called Sprouts. And for the gluten-free folks, now it's expensive as holy hell. I went to Sprouts last night. I think I bought 10 things and I spent $135. Okay. So it sucks when you have to eat gluten-free because everything's like $10. A loaf of bread is $10. Okay. A loaf of bread, 6 bagels is $10. Okay. It's ridiculous. Oh, they're everywhere. Are you sure? I don't think Sprouts are in New England, JC. I don't think Sprouts are in New England. I don't think they're everywhere. I think it may be a Midwest. Oh, they have in Northern Virginia. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. I learned something new today. So if you are gluten-free or you want to try eating gluten-free or you're looking for gluten-free stuff, Sprouts right now, that's the go-to. Whole Foods is whole paycheck. That is very true. 100%. No, I disagree, Eric. It's not the Target version of Whole Foods. Disagree entirely. No, you're talking like Target versus Walmart. Is that what you mean? I think it's better than that. I think it's what Whole Foods used to be. I think Whole Foods has become way too expensive and way too corporate. Like Amazon coming in and like I hadn't seen that big of a change in Whole Foods until like a mile from my house is a brand new state-of-the-art Whole Foods that opened. They've got all these different like things inside of it, like sandwich making places and like, it's a whole bakery, coffee shop type thing. But the product, the stuff that's there for sale, like the meat at Whole Foods is still the GOAT. Okay. Like if I'm shopping for protein, Whole Foods is still the best. 100% still the best. But for anything else, for like dry goods, for things that are packaged or frozen, Sprouts all day long. Trader Joe's is number 2, is right behind it. I'll give you that. The fun thing about Trader Joe's, and the thing that I give them massive credit for, is that Trader Joe's own brand line is unbelievable. Like I don't know how many times I'll buy this a month, but Trader Joe's is rice. The 3-minute microwavable rice is jasmine rice. For somebody who has to eat a lot of rice, because most of my like gluten-free stuff is a lot of stir fries and a lot of like vegetable and protein. Add it with rice, a lot of Asian, some Mexican too, but a lot of Asian. That rice that they have in the microwave for 3 minutes, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Absolutely great. Yeah, Whole Foods buffet is solid for lunch. I'll give you that. 100% solid for lunch. That's still good. Whole Foods still has that market locked down. If you're going for food, like an individual meal, Whole Foods still has that locked down. I can't tell you. When I lived in Houston, I think I ate like 4 out of every 5 lunches at Whole Foods. I went like every day. I went and had that for sure. Aldi's is, I don't know, man. I haven't gotten into it. I haven't gotten into Aldi's. It's the Temu of groceries. That's what I've heard, right? I haven't gone. Amanda told me that Aldi's is horrible, and there's an Aldi's by her house, and she's like, Aldi's is awful. So when she said that to me, I was like, okay. So I haven't really like explored Aldi's because like she kind of knocked it out for me. But oh my gosh, the Ruby Tuesday salad bar. Does Ruby Tuesdays ever exist still, Brooke? Yeah, that's how you know you're from Omaha. That's how you know you're still in the Midwest. Anything not owned by Kroger is good. Albertsons isn't horrible. I'm not going to rip Albertsons, Sonic. There's an Albertsons a quarter mile from my house that I shop at all the time. It's overly expensive because they make you pay for the location close to my... See, in Vegas, here's your geography portion of the show. In Vegas, where I live, is a pre-planned community called Summerlin. Okay. Summerlin has a bunch of different subsections. So I live by Red Rock National Park. It's like literally around the corner from my house. And so Madeline School literally goes up against Red Rock National Park. So that has a supermarket that was built as part of it, which is the only supermarket for about, I think, like 10 miles. And so they have like, if you want to go to a supermarket down the street, it's 10 miles. Or you go and get like, if you need eggs, bacon, breakfast stuff, milk, whatever. So Albertsons has its like little own monopoly. And so they charge probably like 50 cents more on everything that they're supposed to. And that's owned by Kroger's. Oh, Publix. Now we're going back. We're going back to Publix. We're going back to Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee in Houston. Hy-Vee ride or die. Yeah. Hy-Vee in Houston and Hy-Vee in Omaha. 100%. I was down. Piggly Wiggly is my Southern brothers. Those are my Southern brothers right there. Piggly Wigglies are in very unique parts of the country. Very unique parts of the country have Piggly Wigglies. But I will give credit to Publix and Publix's sandwiches. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Oh my. Ross, me and like 5 people in the audience know what Demoulas is. Okay. And for starters, Demoulas is gone. You're showing your age. It's Market Basket everywhere. I'm not sure there's any Demoulas left because the brothers got into a huge fight. We don't get to get into the Market Basket versus Demoulas fight. But I worked at Market Basket. I worked at Demoulas when it flipped over into Market Basket when I was in high school. That job sucked. Stocking shelves at that job sucked. But that's great. That's tremendous. See, PB knows. Publix has got some great subs. PB knows. That's good. Watching on X, PB. Thank you for watching on X. So that was a straight tangent, but that was fun. Real quick, Pete Alonso going to the Orioles for 5 years, $155 million. The Red Sox better know what the hell they're doing. This was the guy they needed. He plays first base. He's a right-handed power bat, and he plays 162 games every year. Like, if you're going to pay anybody, pay this guy. Orioles got a steal. The best power bat they had last year hit 17 home runs. They had to get a power bat, and they got him for 5 years, 155. But the question has to be asked, what the hell are the Mets doing? Like, why would you allow? He's the career home run leader in Mets history. Funny quote from Ron Darling on the MLB Network. Now you've paid, unless you get a bat, Juan Soto to walk 150 times a year. These last 2 days have to be really hard on Mets fans. They lost Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers, and now they lose Pete Alonso to the Orioles. Yeah, things are not going great for the Mets. But they're also not going great for the Red Sox. I don't understand. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Hug a Met fan. Yeah, they need some help. 100%. They need some help. But Orioles, huge get. Red Sox fans, I mean, I don't know what's going on. Red Sox, this is because if you miss out now on Alex Bregman, because why would Bregman owe the Red Sox anything? Bregman, he played 1 year. There's no hometown discount. There's no like, I need to play here. There's no, he wants to play in Boston, but he doesn't need to play in Boston. If somebody comes in and throws a Brinks truck at him, he'll go, okay, I'm gone. Bye. And then you've lost Alonso and you've lost, your starting third baseman and your projected starting first baseman are now gone. So no Bregman and no Alonso. This is turning into a disaster for the Red Sox. I know they're trying to go and trade for Tariq Skubal. I get it. They're trying to put together a package to go get him. But if the Tigers don't move him, and why would they? Unless they get blown away. And right now, I don't think any Tiger fan's going to say there's a package anywhere near good enough to trade Tariq Skubal, in particular because you gave the Red Sox their current ace in Garrett Crochet. So now you're going to give them I was the White Sox. Sorry, I'm flipping that around. Red Sox got Chris Sale. No, that was from the White Sox. Who did the Red Sox get from the Tigers? Why am I blanking on that? I forget who the Red Sox got from the Tigers. But anyways, you're giving the Red Sox a 1-2 punch that's dramatic if you give them Crochet and Skubal. Don't think you're inclined to help a rival in your league to do that. So Red Sox need a bat. And need a bat in a bad way. Mets could get Bichette. That's true. The Mets could. Red Sox might get him too. Could get him too. But Porcello. David Price. Thank you. That's who they got. Yes, that was David Price. That's what they got from the Red Sox. Oh, God. If Skubal goes to the Dodgers, yeah, forget it. Baseball would be not fun to watch. That would be not fun to watch if they wound up going there. Let's make some plays for tonight with just the picks. I have told you this already. We are going just the picks being brought to you by the Betting Pros Prop Bet cheat sheet, by the way. Game tonight, you can go check it out. NFL Prop Bet cheat sheet, bettingpros.com/props, or go download the Betting Pros app to go check out the Prop Bet cheat sheet. Bucks -4. This number's gone. It's now 5.5. Why? Mike Evans is back. Mike Evans being back is a huge deal for this offense. It's a huge deal for Baker Mayfield. Bum shoulder or no bum shoulder. You now have Chris Godwin and you have Mike Evans and you have Bucky Irving. This is the team that started the year and they were really good. This is the team that really got off to a fast start. This is huge. Getting him back for this game tonight, in particular, knowing that the Falcons have lost 9 straight games outdoors. They're 0-5 this year outdoors, and they're 2-3 against the spread outdoors this year. I got 4. It's now 5.5. If it gets to 6, I think you can tease it down, take the Bucks. I think the Bucks win the game by 3. If I had to predict it, I think I'm going to lose, to be honest. I think there's too much steam on the Bucks. 85, 90% of the money. This is bad. We've seen this so far this year where, let's just see where the tickets are right now. Tickets are 64% on Tampa Bay. Let me give you the appropriate stat from the Action Network, because it is stunning with how bad the public has done so far this year. Here's the stat, betting wise, ticket wise. You got to be very careful. Where is the ticket stat? Where is it? Hold on. Okay. According to the Action Network, NFL teams getting 60% of the tickets or more are 50-84 against the spread. That is hitting at a 37% clip through week 14. 60% or more tickets, ATS wise, has gone under 13 of 14 weeks. And the 37% mark for teams getting the majority of the tickets through week 14 is the worst it has been in the 23-year history of the database for the Action Network, to give you an idea. So be very careful. be very careful. This could very well be a Bucks win by 3. It smells like a Bucks win by 3 to me. Tomorrow when we come back on, I'm going to say, told you, Bucks win by 3. But I lead the 4. It's now 5.5. There's too much groupthink going on with this game. I'm very afraid of this number, but so be it. Bucks -4. Celtics have gone 8 straight games. They've covered 8 straight games. They are 9-1 ATS, and they're playing a Milwaukee Bucks team that will not have Giannis Antetokounmpo once again out there. The number is now 9.5. So I have a little CLV here with this one. But without Giannis, 2 games so far, the Bucks have been blown out in both of them. 1 on the road and 1 at home. I'll take the Celtics tonight here to continue their hot streak and their 5 straight wins. Let's make it 6. Let's go to 10-1 ATS over the last 11 games for the Celtics and Jaylen Brown. They're playing such great team basketball right now with Boston. Joe Mazzulla is doing a hell of a job with the Celtics. We're laying the 8.5. It's 9 everywhere, 9.5, Butchie, everywhere. But Celtics laying 8.5 tonight. Prop bet you can play for tonight if you would like. The BBB prop bet of the day. I'm going Bijan Robinson under 4.5 receptions here tonight. Now, we had 6 against this Bucks team in week number 1, but in 4 of the last 5 games, Bijan Robinson's gone under this number of 4.5. And I think the key, the focal point for this defense for Tampa is going to be to stop Bijan Robinson. What's really weird is that when the Falcons run Bijan successfully, they actually lose the game a lot. But Kirk Cousins sucks in primetime. Kirk Cousins sucks in outdoor games. And he's 1-8. 1-8. Let me give you the stat, make sure I'm correct on this. Cousins is 1-8 in his last 9 starts against the spread. 1-8. Cousins is 17, 26-1 ATS since 2022. That ranks 103rd out of 105 QBs. He's only ahead of Geno Smith and Mac Jones for an ATS record. And in the month of December or later, Kirk Cousins is 2-9 against the spread. 2-9 ATS. He's not throwing to Bijan. He's not winning this game, I don't believe, in my opinion. All right, we're out of time. We'll do news of the industry coming up tomorrow. We'll save that story coming up here for tomorrow. So, favorite thing about today. My favorite thing about today is it's always nice when you learn when an ATS you like that for Kirk Cousins. Yes, no Drake London tonight. Drake London is out. Yes, that's true. But the Kyle Pitts stuff, be careful. Last 2 games, no Drake London. Kyle Pitts has been the main target. His yards over and his receptions over. So I don't mind the Kyle Pitts stuff. He just, without Drake London, he is not looking to Bijan. He's looking to throw to Kyle Pitts. So just a heads up on that. Under on Bijan receptions, but maybe over on Kyle Pitts receptions. I love it when we see people that we work with here on the show do good things for strangers. And I want to commend Adam Bjorn. And again, somebody posted the link in the chat. If you could do that again, that would be great for the fundraiser that he is doing for the food, shelter, clothing, everything he's trying to raise for the people of Jamaica. And it's closer to my heart because I was just there. I was there in April. The resort that I stayed at is literally gone. It's been wiped off the map. They're not going to be reopened for 2026. They've already said we're not taking reservations until December of 2026. That's the level of devastation. And this was a really beautiful, if you go to my Instagram at Sports Talk Matt, go to the April and you'll see all the pictures for that trip I took to Jamaica. And the idea that is gone now is so sad. Thank you, Addison, for doing that. It's in the chat. Hit the link if you'd like to go help what Adam is doing. He's just selfishly doing this. Also, from the Discord, thank you very much. He is selfishly doing this. And that I love working with good people. I love working with people that give back. I love working with people that understands if you're in a position to help, you should help. If you are better off, if you are better than someone else, to go ahead, turn around and give that person a helping hand. And Adam is, put your money where your mouth is in a lot of ways, right? If you have it and you can help. And that island is devastated. And we've all moved on. If you've noticed in society, we've all moved on. Like no one's talking about Jamaica. No one's talking about the human casualties, the issues going on there. And it wasn't the safest of places to begin with. Okay. Like Jamaica was already a very poor country. And if it wasn't for the tourism dollars that would come in every year, that place would have a huge problem. Now, Kingston and Montego Bay are big enough that they could support, if for a little while there was a dip in tourism. But the inner part of the island, the rural and the poor parts of the island, they have to have the tourist dollars because that's where they work. They all go to work in these resorts. And if all those resorts are closed, there's no money coming in. Thus, there's no food. There's no shelter. Like, this is a human issue that goes so much deeper. And we've all just kind of like gone, whatever. Like, so I give Adam a ton of credit. Yes, it was already, infrastructure was awful. It was awful in April when I was there. I mean, I had a couple of really hairy experiences in Jamaica where we were on a catamaran. We took a catamaran out and we docked outside of a restaurant. And on the other side of the restaurant was this big shopping plaza. And I told to Amanda and Brooks, I said, hey, I'm going to go buy some stuff for Madeline. There's a jewelry store over there. I'm going to go buy her some stuff from Jamaica. And the second that I stepped onto the street and I got out of that like tourist area type of thing into a street, I got accosted. And I mean, I was offered everything. I was offered cocaine. I was offered marijuana. I was offered guns. The guy's like, what do you need? I got it all. I got a guy over there. Get you whatever you want. I'm like, I don't need anything. Like, I'm going to a jewelry store. Leave me alone. And like, they wouldn't leave me alone until basically I ran back to the boat. Like, I literally ran. And Amanda and Brooks were like, why are you running? I was like, because these guys are chasing me. So like, it is a difficult place to be regardless before all of this happened. Before the difficulty with the Hurricane Melissa in the wake of them are there. So like, to give you an idea of what Jamaica is like outside of the resorts, so imagine now you have no food and you have no water. Okay. That's the fear factor. That's what really makes my heart break for those people, because there's a lot of good people who live there. There's a lot of amazing people who live there who need help. And so favorite thing about today is what Adam Bjorn is doing. Just amen to you guys. I mean, I love seeing good people do good things. Fight Song Friday tomorrow, our last one of the 2026-2025 year and season. Army, Navy. We'll get in some other ones. We'll preview the college football games. Although we might do it. I don't know. We probably do it. Maybe I'm going to, let me correct myself. We got the playoff games for the weekend of the 20th. So it'll be our second to last one. Maybe we'll play some playoff games. We'll preview the games as well from a betting perspective. We have not talked about the CFP games yet. We'll do that tomorrow as well. Thank you for being here. Thanks to BetCris Arizona for sponsoring Thursdays every week, and Adam Bjorn for coming on the program. Like the show, subscribe to our YouTube channel, enter the contest as well. Leave a comment on our YouTube as well. We're back tomorrow for a Fight Song Friday.